All right. I usually watch JT Hustles. I don't know if you've ever come across his content, but he's made some really dope ass content when it comes to entrepreneurship and quitting your 9 to 5 and starting something from the scratch that replaces your employment. And I recommend his content. If you've never watched it before, you might find some value from it. Today, this video that I'm going to be talking about is a video that he made about quietly making $100,000 while you sleep. It's a hidden hustle. After watching this video, it became clear to me that what he was trying to do, what he was talking about, is using SEO to make money.
Clients, you can keep those clients for a very, very long time.
How have you done what you've done? Now they're begging me to work on their site as well, even though I own that site separately. So that was my moment of gratification, and the sky's the limit at that point.
Then I stumbled across SEO. I had no idea what it even meant. Like, I didn't understand that. And kind of learning a little bit more about it, it's like, oh wow, this actually sounds pretty interesting.
What's up, hustlers? Your favorite country cousin, JT Automation's back in the video. I'm here with two very special guests. One one you're going to be introduced to for the very first time here. I'm here with Mr. John Wilker. He has helped a whole lot of you all learn the pallet business and make a lot of money, but I'm also here with Miss Erin as well. And what we want to cover today is a business that we never talked about before here on this channel, but this is something that every single business needs. I don't care if you got a blue collar business, if you have an online business, whatever it is, or even the business that you're thinking about starting, you will need this as well, because it's going to help you acquire customers. All right. So it's SEO, search engine optimization. A lot of people get intimidated when they hear about SEO, because if you go to YouTube, it's people that'll talk about backlinks and websites and authority and ranking and all of this stuff, and it becomes super complicated to understand. I really just want customers to see my website so that way I can make money. So I'm going to challenge you all to simplify it for us. So first and foremost, thank y'all for being here. How y'all doing today?
Doing great.
We're great. Thanks for having us.
Great. All right. So before we get into it, so John, most people know you because you helped them change their lives with the pallet business. How did you get into SEO? And I'm going to ask the same question to you, Miss Erin. How did you get into SEO?
Yes, this is funny. With the pallet business, it ended up giving me a lot of free time, and I would be done with my work. I'd work from like 7 a.m. to 9:30 in the morning, but then I would sneak off and play golf. And I would do like that 3 times a week. And then Melissa, my wife, caught on. And she said, "Do you really have to play golf this much? I mean, can't you be a little bit, I know you're doing well and all that, but can't you be a little bit more productive with your time?" So, I had to agree with her to some extent. And I set out to find, okay, I have a simple business in the pallet business, right? Now, let's see if I can find another simple business where once I've done the work, it's done and can produce me income from that point forward. And I don't need employees, and I don't need a warehouse, and I don't need a lot of overhead. What is that business? And it ended up being this: search engine optimization. And the way we go about it, there's so many, it opens up this whole chest of possibilities, different possibilities for people. What I ended up doing is creating a lot of different websites for businesses that I don't own, right? So I'll give you an example just so to give you a lay of the land of how this works and why it became so attractive to me. Is I could build a site on asphalt repair. Well, I don't own an asphalt business. I don't have an equipment for asphalt business, but you know what? I learned how to rank that site to where it's producing all the traffic and it's grabbing up all the leads because I learned how to get it on page 1. And that's where 65% of the business comes from. So now I have that traffic. I'm going to go find a business that does that work and sell them those leads for them to do the work, or they're going to pay me a percentage of every job they do that website generated without me leaving the house.
That's awesome.
So it really correlated with the pallet business and the kind of money I made in short periods of time. I've learned a skill set. It's truly, really exciting, folks, that once it's done, that thing is working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that
Now, I like the way how simple they make it sound. It sounds oversimplified to an extent. I'm waiting to hear more where these speakers are going to take this to. But make no mistake, SEO is a complex and ever-changing field that requires ongoing learning. You have to adapt to the different Google algorithms because they're constantly evolving, and Google is making it challenging to maintain that ranking that he spoke about for a long-term period without continuous effort. So let's see where they take this conversation.
Can transform anybody's life if they learn the skill sets that make that happen. Yeah, it really excited me when I heard about it, and I've never let go since.
All right, for sure. What about you, Miss Erin? How did you get into SEO?
Well, I was working like 65, 70-hour work weeks at my job. This was almost 10 years ago now. I had a kid. She was born like 2 months early. And
Sure.
I couldn't keep working like that. I needed to figure out something that I could do from home. And so I started just digging around on the internet. You know, you find like, oh, you can sit and make phone calls and be kind of like a telemarketer, or you can listen to like medical records and type them out. And none of that sounded appealing to me. And then I stumbled across SEO. I had no idea what it even meant. Like, I didn't understand that people did anything to their websites to get them to show up. I never honestly even put a thought into it. So the more I started doing research and kind of learning a little bit more about it, I was like, oh, wow, this actually sounds pretty interesting. And the fact that you can help other business owners, local small business owners, like my next door neighbor, or, you know, my friend down the road, was so appealing to me. So that's how I got sucked into it. And I haven't looked back 10 years later.
All right. Hey, what was really great about that I want all of the viewers, all of the listeners to take in is that this is a business that has good legs on it. This is a business that you can learn today. It's not a trend that, what about in a year, 2 years, 3 years? It's not like selling fidget spinners. This is not like selling those glasses that everybody was selling for the eclipse. If you learn this skill set can make you money over and over and over again long term. Because I know a lot of you all, you want to start a business, you wanted to get into something, but your fear is, okay, if I get into it, will I be able to make money long term to pay my mortgage, my car payment, whatever your bills are? Take care of your kids, like the example Miss Erin gave as well. So yes, this is a business that's for you, that if you master it, you got to be willing, just like anything, to learn it. But once you learn it, this can pay you long term over and over and over. Right. So I'm going to ask both of you all a question again. This time I'm going to start again with you, Miss Erin, ladies first. Right. So
Sure.
What was your aha moment when you realized I can actually make money doing this from home? Right. Or assuming you're doing it from home. Do you work from home right now?
Oh, yes, I still
All
do.
right.
Or from my car, or I go sit outside at the park. Yeah, I can work from anywhere as long as I have my laptop.
That's
Or my
awesome.
I think my aha moment was after I landed my first client, and they were actually going to pay me to do to work on their website. I had built, like John mentioned, several sites kind of on my own that I owned myself for some random like contracting services, and I had gotten them to rank. So I knew that I could do it. The process was rinse and repeat. You do it over and over and over again. So I knew it worked. And so then I went out and started approaching business owners. And it was scary at first because it was so new. And that's always, you know, the fear when you start out something. Is this going to fail? Am I going to be okay? Or am I going to take somebody's money? But I started doing the same exact process with that first client, and I ranked their site in a matter of 3 months, I think. It didn't take very long. And they were happy. I was happy. They kept paying me, and they are still a client to this day, 10 years later. So that's something huge that I like to point out is, like you mentioned, it's something that you can start and do for a really long time, as long as you do it correctly.
I like that testimony. The fact that she did the work, actually getting good at it first with her own site before she ventured out trying to earn money from it. A lot of us make the mistake of just hopping out right there, and you know, you don't want to leave bad reviews, especially if you're getting your leads from platforms like Upwork or Fiverr. The more customer bad reviews that are left on your profile, the less money you're gonna make. But you want to try out on your own private thing and test your proof of concept before you venture out there. Good way to go about it.
And follow the steps that we teach in this course. So
Absolutely. That's great to point. I know a lot of you all watching this, you may have never had a business or have to market yourself. So this is a great business that you can get one client and that one client can stay with you as long as you perform it. So a decade or longer if you do it the right way. All right, Mr. John, what about you? What was your aha moment when you realized, okay, I can actually get paid for doing this?
I love this story as well, because I remember, first of all, when you're going through the process for the first time, and when we learned it, learned and dug up all this information way back when, it was a lot harder. There are some very extensive steps that we've now simplified. But when I first saw my site jump onto page one, the first one I did after doing that work, I went, it's working, right? And then the leads started coming in, and I was helping actually a neighbor, like Aaron said, across the street. They had an AC business. And I remember the phone call, I'll never forget it. And they called me up and said, how are you doing this? Like, because I was providing with them so many great, unbelievable leads, like the whole Dick's Sporting Goods of all over Alabama, that type of lead, where they could service everyone, and apartment complexes installing 150 AC units and stuff they would have never gotten if I wasn't in that ranked position. Mm-hmm. But for them to say to me, how are you doing this? How have you done what you've done? Now they're begging me to work on their site as well, even though I own that site separately, that I own. So that was my moment of gratification, and the sky's the limit at that point, because it's a rinse and repeat type of process. So much fun. So much fun.
Great. Do either of you all, so I know some people, they so far so good, you love what you're hearing. This is a business that every business needs your services because you help them get customers. This is a business where you can find one client or a handful of clients. As long as you perform, you can keep those clients for a very, very long time. But you may be intimidated, like we said in the beginning, because what you know about SEO and maybe what you think you know about SEO may not even be true about SEO. Do either of you all have like a IT background or a degree from MIT? Like, do you got to be super smart in order to learn SEO, you think? Or can anybody learn this?
I'm a palette guy, right? I'm about as far removed from the tech guy as you could think. So absolutely not. And nor do you need to, especially the way we're teaching. But Aaron can speak to that as well.
Not at all. I've been able to teach my 9-year-old daughter how to build a website with the same exact steps that we teach in this course. So anybody can do it. You don't have to have any kind of technical background.
All right. So 100% of you all that are watching this or listening to this, you can learn this business and make money, right? Another reservation that somebody might be having. Well, when we're talking about getting ranked on the first page, they think that, hey, this costs a lot of money. I'm going to need hundreds of thousands of dollars to build out this big grandiose website and spend a whole bunch of money on ads and all of that other stuff. Realistically, do you have to have a budget of hundreds of thousands of dollars to rank websites on the first page of Google or any other search engine that you know how to rank on?
No, you don't. Aaron, you can speak to a little about this, about the budget it requires for just a yearly cost, of hosting a website.
Okay.
It's $15 a month, right? Something like that or less. We are generating organic traffic. And when I say organic, free traffic by do the efforts that we the tactics that we do. So this isn't paid ads, because once you rank, there's a whole section of the map section. I don't want to get nerdy on y'all, but this is free. The leads that you're getting, you're not having to pay for them. Okay. And the cost, think of it in comparison of actually owning a business, a brick and mortar, and your lease and all this, and your employees and your equipment. This is a website, people. It's digital real estate that doesn't have the lease payment except for simple hosting costs and a few ancillary tools that you need. But I'll let Aaron jump in on this topic as well.
So when I first started doing SEO, I was pretty broke. I had quit my job. I was trying to work from home with a new baby. My husband's trying to, pay for everything. And so I didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to throw into this. And that's the approach I took when putting together this course, is sure, there are tools you can pay for, and there's this and this and that you can pay for. You can hire people to do some of this stuff for you once you start having money coming in, but the majority of it is free. And I show lots of different ways to do things that don't cost you any money, that will get you results. You really don't have to put a ton of money into it to begin with. And the other thing that I really like about this business too is you set your own prices when you work with a client. So there's something that you know you're going to need to do for their particular website, tack that on to their monthly payment that they're paying you, so you're not having to pull that out of your own bank.
All right. What recommended budget would either of you all say? Would you tell them to start this business with no money, a few $100s, few $1,000s? Like, what budget would you recommend if you were starting over today, knowing what you know now? Would you start off with?
I mean, if I was starting over today, I would love to have $1 million in my bank account. No, to start out, honestly, like he said, you want to be able to pay for hosting, which is about anywhere from $12 to $20 a month. And honestly, you can get by with just that if you need to. There's one thing that I do talk about. I'm not going to get super nerdy, but I even mentioned in the videos where I'm talking about it, this is something you definitely don't want to do on your own. You want to hire this service to do it for you.
I know what you're talking about too.
Directories, and it's about $80 one time. So,
that's not bad at all.
Quit going out to eat for a week and you got that in the bag right there. So you can literally start out with just like $15 a month. And even if you just are able to pay for that 1 month of the hosting, if you work enough and do all the things that we teach, you can start bringing money in before that month is over to help cover next month's costs. So it's all about how much work you put in and how much time you put into it too.
I can agree with that. It's all about how much work you put in. That's how much output you're going to get. Don't go into it expecting amazing results right off the bat until you start putting in work. I know they make it sound somewhat easy, but I think of it like it's simple but not easy, because yes, you can generate money monthly, but you're going to have to put in a lot of work. There's a lot of time required. And while the speakers mentioned dedicating a weekend or a month to start generating money, dedicate a weekend to learn SEO, mastering the skills consistently to consistently get websites, especially when you're working for people and you're in a contract and people are expecting results. Mastering the skills to get their websites to consistently rank typically takes a much longer time. Building and optimizing websites, creating content, and even building those backlinks, it can be very time consuming.
Oh yeah, this is great.
That's it. That what she just said in the beginning, because the maintenance of these sites afterwards, especially because we deal a lot of teaching you folks on a local level on how to rank. So minimal work.
Not to cut you off, but for clarity, what's the difference between having a national or a worldwide ranking site and a local site for somebody that's brand new to this?
Here's what I love about a lot of the business. I'll give you an example. It's a brick mason, right? Now, our plumber, you think about blue collar types of businesses that are out there. To rank that in locally, meaning in your town or city, right? In your local area is so much less cumbersome than in trying to rank that business for them to rank all over the United States. So we're dealing in this tight circumference of area that we're trying to get where their customers are going to be anyway. So that's so much easier to do on a local level than it is on a national level. When you go national, you have to build out a network that's quite a bit bigger, depending on a network of, well, I don't want to get nerdy on you folks, but there's ways of having the web talk about you. When you try to rank nationally, you are having to do some additional work, right? But we want to focus on the local scene for this, because the wins come faster, the money comes faster, and the knowledge that you gain in this training, the other people don't know. Yep. They simply don't know. Yeah, and so they can't overtake us.
Right. Well, like you were talking about, the plumbers and electricians in town, they're focused on doing plumbing and doing electrical work and stuff like that. They're not putting a bunch of time and money into doing SEO. So there's hardly any competition when you are working locally. And that's what makes it so easy for you to kind of dominate the market, because they're not putting the time into getting their website to rank. They're out there trying to figure out other ways to bring in clients. Maybe they're handing out, business cards door to door in the evenings, whatever. So there's just a lot less competition locally. It takes a lot less time to outrank the competitors and a lot less effort.
All right.
Yeah, and plus, even if they tried, like the plumber tried, he truly doesn't know the tactics that he really needs to know to make this work as a permanent solution. He doesn't know how to spy on it. We spy on our competition. We know exactly what to do before we build a website. We're not just talking about building a website. We're talking about optimizing that website to the degree to where the search engines can't ignore you. And we have, where Google says, I have to put this guy, this business above the other ones because of the work they did and how well it's done. That's what Google's looking for. But go ahead.
I got a follow-up question just to piggyback on what we're talking about now, because what I want all of you all to take in is that you don't have to know or have the resources to build a big nationwide business in order to be successful in this. But what you might also be thinking is, can I really make a full-time income if I have a local business? Because on the internet, of course, you might have watched other videos before you watch this one. You might watch some more videos or listen to some more after this one, and you hear other people talking about you got an online business, you could sell all over the world. So when you start hearing people talking about having an online business, but you're going to be local, you might be questioning, can I make a lot of money with a local website? So I want to challenge you all and just ask you all, is there a lot of money, a full-time income, whatever that might be considered, ranking locally instead of trying to rank nationwide?
Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
Oh, absolutely. Because most of the people you'll come across who want and need the help are local businesses, and they don't want to, work out of another state. A lot of them are service-based businesses, so they have to work in their local area to be able to service customers around them. But as an online business person, I work with people in other states. I'm from Alabama. I moved out to Colorado, and I still have clients in Alabama that I work with. I still have clients in Nashville. I used to live in Nashville for a while. So you can really work with anybody anywhere, because like we're doing, we're all on a Zoom call. We're all in different areas of the country, but focusing locally and helping local business owners, there's tons of money, because there's tons of local businesses that have no idea how to do this and are just banging their heads against the wall, trying to figure out how to keep their business open. And that's where you can step in and really help change their lives as well, and start helping them bring leads in, get more customers. But if you even just pull up your phone and look up plumbers or whatever you're looking for, there's tons of businesses.
Tens of thousands of different.
There's so many different people around that need the help. I've made a good time living off of it.
And listen, we're the people that
I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for the numbers. They're floating around. She said tons of money. We need numbers now. Monthly MRR. What are we talking about?
they're paying their bills by bringing in the jobs for them. We're the first person they want to pay because we are the engine now that generates the money for their life and for their lifestyle. And we've increased their lifestyle. So we're first on their Christmas card list for one, because we now even put them in a position they get a volume of leads in where they can pick and choose their favorite job to do. They don't have to do every one. They can choose this type of work over another type of job because this one makes them the most profit. And they have those leads coming in and those calls coming in on such a consistent basis. They're forever grateful for what we do. And that's very satisfying for Aaron and myself to be able to help these people that were either close to bankruptcy in some cases or just not doing the business that they want to do, or they never had enough money to expand. We put them in that position, and it puts us in a position of gratification, but at the same time, puts a position of strength when you have this knowledge that other people don't have.
definitely thank you all for that clarity. Let's make it super personal for the viewers watching, and then we're going to go even deeper. So for anybody out there that may not be able to understand this, when we're talking about blue collar business, yes, a plumber, an electrician, an HVAC guy, brick mason, anybody like that. Think about the services that you may use on a regular basis. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong, like a barbershop, a hairstylist, all of these local businesses, they can use your services. So you don't have to make this hard. Like John said, there's thousands of businesses that need these services. So I don't want you to look at it as, okay, well, I got to only go service these type of people. Literally every business needs customers, and that's the value proposition that you're bringing. Something else Miss Erin pointed out that I wanted to go deeper on now as well too is she kind of mentioned that in like 3 months she helped one of her early clients rank, and a lot of you all, everybody knows how to Google stuff, and they'll say, well, most businesses go out of business in a year, 3 years, 5 years. Well, this business,
not if they're on page 1.
Say it again.
I said, not if they're on page 1, they don't. Go ahead.
Yep, 100%. Yep, that's where we're going with it. And this is a business that when you're getting clients results that fast, right? 3 months, and now I got customers, right? I don't care if I'm a new business, that's fast. If I'm an existing business, that's still fast as well, right? Not saying that everybody that learns this program will get that fast as Miss Erin. She's been doing it for years, but you can learn the skill set she has, and over time, you will be able to get results that are fast for your client as well, right? So since Miss Erin shared that with us, I'm gonna ask you, John, as well. What have you seen the results being like on average? 3 months, 6 months, or how long before? Go ahead.
No, I mean, I put a lot of work in, right? As well, because I became a little obsessive with this in the beginning, and I was doing way more work than my competitor do as far as the tactics that we're talking about. And it was a matter of 3 weeks where I was in like 3rd or 4th position. And then I had to push it another couple of weeks. And it was like a 5 to 6 week period before I was in position 1 or 2 for that particular niche. And the thing that you'll learn in this training as well, there's certain niches that are way easier to dominate for. And we don't want to just win. We want to dominate in a particular niche. And you'll be exposed to the low-hanging fruit of the type of businesses that you can help and dominate for compared to some. Like if I go out for, an insurance agents or something, of course, I'm competing with Alpha and State Farm and stuff like that. So there are specific niches that we can really dominate in. And guess what? Once you find a good niche, there's no reason you can't do that all over the 5 states surrounding you as well in that same niche. And just dominate in that one niche for every, bouncy house rental guy in Alabama, as an example,
Yep.
So the sky's the limit.
Something that we do talk about in the training too is kind of narrowing it down to more specific services. So instead of trying to like focus on ranking a plumbing website, you focus on ranking for like a clogged toilet or a
water heater
pipe
replacement.
or water heater replacement. So that way there's a lot less competition with those specific narrowed down searches that people are actually looking for. And then you can rank in a matter of weeks, like he said, and then you're getting calls for that specific service over and over and over again.
And guess what? Like that example, I'll just give so you can understand. Water heating repair is the plumber's favorite job. It makes him the most money, the most profit, and the least amount of time to do it. So if you're doing that for him, he loves you. He absolutely loves you. It's so nerdy sounding, but it's a lot of fun when you actually have an impact on people's businesses and lives.
All right, Miss Erin, I'm gonna ask you this question, and then we'll bounce it off of John as well. So, what we've emphasized here, because you guys know on this channel we pride you with practical entrepreneurship. This is a real business you can learn today, continue to learn, and make money, in perpetuity off of it. But it is still a business, so you're gonna have to learn how to do it the right way. All right. Now, there's a lot of great information on YouTube, Google, Instagram, whatever. But my whole thing is, I recommend you learn from practitioners, people that have actually done this day in and day out. They've made the money, they lost the money, they made the mistakes, they went through all of the headaches, and they're going to condense condense your learning curve down, or the time it takes to go from where you are to where you want to be. So I definitely recommend that you partner with Mr. John and Miss Erin on that, because they're going to help you get the results faster. So it doesn't have to take you months and maybe even years of you Googling stuff, trying stuff. That didn't work. This didn't work, right? You can know exactly what to do day one to maximize your time and maximize your profitability. But going back to talking about time, Miss Erin, how much time do you think in the beginning you would spend on doing a new website? And then how much time do you spend per month, I guess, maintaining it once you already built it?
Okay, so well, to start out, when I first got into it, I was very obsessive too, and I spent hours upon hours. I'd stay up all night because during the day I was at home with my baby, and then I'd stay up all night working. I learned very quickly I could not maintain that. So the web builder and everything that we teach to use in this course makes it super simple. You can actually have a website built in a matter of 30 minutes if you really wanted to. Now, doing all the optimization and the content, you have to put a little bit more work into that, but you can get a website up and going. It looks great. It functions perfectly within like 20-30 minutes. I like to spend more time because I'm just a nerd and kind of like to design things and tweak things and make it look pretty and fancy. Doesn't have to, but that's just the way my brain works. So I spend a little bit more time on websites just because I like the way they look. And then you do have to put several hours a day, I would say, depending on how many sites you have. If you're only working on one site, even an hour a day, doing the backlinks and all the different things that we teach. But it's all about being consistent and putting in time 5-6 days a week to begin with. And then once you get the website ranked, then it's maybe a matter of checking in once a week on it, once a month. I have sites now that I haven't looked at in probably 3 years, and they're still showing up number one.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel a little guilty about it. I'm like, oh, these people are still paying me and I'm doing literally nothing.
But you
Now,
did the work to begin with.
Exactly. So in the beginning, you do have to put some time in, and it's a learning curve, and it's new and it's technical, and we do take you step by step through how to do it and make it super easy to where it's easy to learn. But I know like my head was about to explode when I first started learning about it, because I didn't know how to build a website. I didn't know what a backlink was. I didn't know what any of that meant. So hopefully with this course, it's dumbed down enough to where it seems super easy and simple. That was the goal. But you do need to put in several hours a week, I would say, to start.
And I want to speak about the fact that when we were learning and digging up this information back, 10 years ago, the amount of effort we had to put in then compared to now is exponentially more back then, because there was a lot of other hard ways of going about these methods. But we, again, crystallized all the good stuff that has to be done to rank a website and brought these things forward into 2024 for people to know this is what you need to know. Not all the fluff and not all this other stuff that can really bog you down if you're getting bad information, right? So I think it's important to understand also, as you do this a few times, the amount of time it took me to do my first site compared to my 10th site was 90% less time, because I knew exactly what my tools were. I've gotten used to it. I knew the process at that point. I wasn't having to learn it. I just knew it at that point. So it becomes easier and easier once you keep doing it.
So since y'all are the practitioners, I'm excited about this business because I know that this is going to change somebody's life out there, right? There's a mom, there's a dad, there's a single person, no matter where it is. You could be in college, recently out. It doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter how technically sound you are right now. You can learn these skills. So I'm just going to ask you, just to make sure that I'm not like overshooting it. If I'm willing to sacrifice a weekend, I know a lot of you all watching this and listening to this, you might have regular 9-to-5 jobs. So you working Monday through Friday, you busy. So if I'm willing to sacrifice a weekend to actually master this skill outside of learning it, right? Because different people learn at different rates. But once I learn it from Erin, from John, I give myself a weekend to make my first site. And then I dedicate at least an hour a day in the evening time after work, after I wind down a little bit to make sure that I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do on my site. I can build a successful business. Once it's established, I can check it once a week, once a month and get paid every single month from it?
That's how it works.
Yep.
That's exactly how it works. And help other businesses at the same time, other families. And that's the gratifying part of it. You are providing a service not only for just their business, but the way this works. And if you're on page one, you're getting 65% of the business, basically, of all the leads that are out there. And the impact allows those families to expand their business, or, you know, take some time off finally from grinding all these years. And to hear those stories that your work has had that impact, I mean, it kind of tears me up. I have to say, I get a little emotional about it because it really does. It's really cool.
All right, you guys. So, hey, this is something that is super practical. I would even dare say that if you're somebody out there that was confused about what business to start, should I do this business, that business, or that business, I would say if you could only pick one business, which I think that's the wisest place to start, is that this business will allow you to have the opportunity to work with pretty much every other business. So if you have to pick one to start with, you can start this business. You can work with all these other businesses because you're going to bring them customers. And then if later on you want to invest or expand and do other stuff with other businesses, right? Now you can have relationships there as well, right? So what I want to transition into, and then we're going to tell you how to connect with Miss Erin, Mr. John, so that way you can get up and running. But we wanted to introduce it to you is they want to know about the money, right? So John, I'm going to throw this one at you, right? So most people bills are
talk about some money.
Realistically, in a month, let's say that somebody starts off with one website because, you know, maybe they can't start off with 30. What's realistic in 1 month I can make off of one website, you think, in 2024 when this is coming out?
Well, I'll give you two ways to go about it. You know, any given website is going to vary, but you want to hit for that $600 to $750 range on average per website that you build. Mm-hmm. But you also have the ability, like I set it up this way on several of my websites, where the business I'm working with pays me 10% of what the job is that came through my website. So just as an example, Brick Mason, if I make him $20,000 in a month with the leads I brought him in, he's paying me $2,000 a month from that website, just from that one website. You know, you can have literally 150 websites before the deal is done, right? And if you want to build them all out. But would you say that $750 to $1,000, $600 to $1,000, depending if you own the site or you're helping someone else to helping out with their existing site? Now, if you're helping with their existing site, you know, it could be, are building their site even, you can charge them $5,000, $10,000 for that type of work as well, once you know the skill set. Or you're helping them improve their website. I'll let Erin talk about that on, you know, because she does that a lot as well.
Yeah, that was going to be something I was going to talk about, is the possibilities are kind of endless with this business model, because you learn the skills, you can sell little pieces of it to businesses. So maybe, you know, this carpenter, he doesn't have the money to pay for a $5,000 website, but he can pay you $500 a month. You can split up the cost of the website over several months and then say, okay, once you've paid off the actual website, then we'll start doing SEO for you and getting it to rank to where, you know, you're not doing it all at once. You can sell just websites to people. Once you know how to build a website, you can sell them. A business will pay up, you know, $5,000, $10,000. Some will, some won't. So you can make up your own prices. You can make up your own deals with people. I think that's what I love so much about it, is you can be flexible. You can help people. You don't have to be this hard, you know, no, you have to pay me this amount of money for this. You can create amazing deals for people, and that makes them trust you and want to work with you more. You can sell consulting services once you really fully understand the SEO process. Maybe a business already has like a marketing person. They can pay you every month to consult with their marketing person, and you tell them how to do it. So there's so many different options with, once you learn these skills, you can build your own website and rank it for SEO and marketing and different things like that, and have people start calling you just to do SEO for them, because businesses are out there looking for this type of stuff. So
I'm so glad you said something, Miss Erin. So I'm not going to lie, way back when I first heard about needing a website and all of this other stuff, I tried to build my own website. It looked terrible. It loaded slow because I thought it would be cool if I had a video on it,
Videos.
and I didn't know that it was gonna make it take forever to load. So then once I realized how terrible my site was, because I'm gonna be honest, if you've never made a website, you guys, your very first website is gonna be the most beautiful website ever because you made it, and then you'll come back 6 months later, you'll be like, this is the worst website ever, right? So I thought it was great because I made it, but then after a while, I realized like this was kind of terrible. And then I went to something called Wix because Wix was like a drag and drop. It looked way better than what I had tried to make using a tool called iPage way back in the day. And I might still have a couple of old Wix sites, but I don't even mess with that anymore, right? I say all of that to say this is because you might have heard of or you might come across drag and drop site builders. And I always talk about why I don't use them anymore. But can you explain to us, Miss Erin, why would you recommend a blue collar business? Like you said, hey, why would somebody, or your question as a viewer, as a listener, maybe, why would somebody give me $5,000 when they can go to Wix and drag and drop something together and have it done in less than an hour, right? So why would you recommend not using a drag and drop builder and actually using the tools that you teach people how to use to build a website instead?
Well, let me correct you first because we do use a drag and drop builder in this
All right.
course. That's what we use, but we
Is
teach.
it Wix or no? Because
No,
it's not
no.
Wix.
Okay.
It's not Wix.
No.
No.
All right.
It's much more intuitive. It's a platform that was created by people who have spent years in the SEO space working on generating leads for local businesses. But it is a drag and drop, and that's what makes it so easy to use. But we teach more about like how to make your website convert people into actual customers. So if somebody lands on your website, there's different things you can do to convince them to fill out a form or click a button and call you. And then we also talk about just optimizing the website and
On-site optimization as well.
yes, and doing all of this stuff on the page, on the website, in the settings. That's what creates like a really, really strong foundation for everything else you're going to do with the SEO process. So you want to have a really solid, good website that shows that you are the authority in your particular location, industry, and that's what a ton of the course is about, is focusing on really building a good foundation and then going out and doing the rest of the SEO. And, you know, a local business owner who gets on Wix or a drag and drop builder, they're not going to know all that information. Yeah, they might put together what they think is a beautiful website, like you said, but it's not going to do anything for them if it's just a pretty website, because nobody's going to be able to find it and actually see it.
It's going to be languishing on page 6. So if you're on page 6, you might as well not have a website. So, you know, this training is how to optimize the website itself. And then the rest of the web as well, when SEO comes into play, is, I'll put it in layman's terms, of getting votes for your site as well. So you have 2 aspects to this that you need to know. And we see so many people out there just, hey, if I build a website, they will come. Well, that's not the truth. You got to know your stuff for them to come, right? And know the tactics. It's almost, when you start learning this material, it feels like you're in a secret society a little bit, like you're in a secret club learning information that other people have no clue of. That puts you in a position of strength. It's exciting. I mean,
Yeah, I have to correct him there. You don't necessarily have to know your stuff. You just have to be in front of a lot of people. And I think that's the point of SEO, is that you could have the best website with the most expertise. If you're on page 6, if you're languishing on page 6, no one's seen your stuff. So it might as well not exist. I do, however, have to emphasize on ongoing learning. And if I like that they presented SEO as a skill that requires continuous education and adaptation. You're going to need to stay updated on industry trends and the changes that happen in Google algorithm. They also made a point to set realistic expectations. However much work you put in, that's the outcome that you should expect. If you put in less work, you're not going to make a lot of money. That the balanced income projections, including the potential for failure or low earnings, especially in the beginning, is what I like about these speakers and where they took this, their testimony. I like that they emphasized on the success and that it requires sustained effort over time. They're talking about now, like, what the importance of SEO. So let's continue listening.
It sounds nerdy, and a lot of people, oh, I can't do it. It's computer and it's this. I'm telling you, you can learn it. And once you do learn it, you got a sense of power about yourself of knowing this information that other people don't know. It's important.
And you feel pretty smart too.
Yeah, it makes you feel smart.
Absolutely. So you guys, one thing you guys know is that we don't script these videos because I stand corrected. That's even better news though. So you don't have to learn how to code or anything. They do have a drag and drop builder. And for those of you out there that might have had the question, just to make sure that it's clear, the reason why you can charge more and you are still a better option than if they went and made their own website was because you're creating an asset that's going to actually make them money. Just like Miss Erin and Mr. John pointed out, they can make a beautiful website. If you never find it, it's not doing anything for them, right? So it's like a business card in your wallet you never gave out. So, okay, it looks good, but you're the only one that knows that it exists. So that's your unique sales proposition, if you will, as to why they should use you versus anybody else, right? Also, Mr. John was saying, hey, with one website, really you can make whatever you want to make off of it, but you said you shoot to make at least $600 profit a month per website. But there's other ways to monetize it as well, right? With the 10%, or like Miss Erin said, you could sell a piece of the service if they can't afford or are not interested in the whole thing, right? I wanted to start there to let you all know, okay, realistically, we're gonna start off with one. Think about $600 is $600. That's somebody's car payment, somebody's mortgage, or at least part of it, depending on where you stay and what you drive. But $600 can go a long way. And there's nothing to say that you won't make $1,000 a month,
right?
$2,000 a month or more with that. So
I got a check in 2 days ago for $1,800 for the month for one of my sites.
Oh, great!
And we're what, 7 years in?
Yep. How much time do you spend on that website now?
I haven't touched that site in 5 years.
All right. So think about it, you guys. Lord willing, everybody here has good health and abundance. So 5 years from now, you still around doing something. What if you can do the work today and start getting paid every single month? If you work a 9-to-5 job, imagine if the work you're doing today at work or the work you did today at work, they cut you a check every single month and you didn't have to go back to work anymore, right? That would be amazing. Now you don't have to think about retiring once you're 68, 70, or whatever age it is. The way it's moving now, you may never retire unless you just decide you're going to stop. But you can create your own retirement at any age with any lifestyle you want with this business. All right. So I'm going to ask each of you all separately. So Miss Erin, right now, how many websites do you manage? And then I'm going to ask you, Mr. John, the same question.
Oh boy, that's a I'd have to go and actually look at my list of websites. I think I'm well over like 60 something, 65 websites right now. That's sites that I own myself. And then I have a lot of SEO clients who just pay me monthly to work on their sites that I didn't even build for them. Like they had it built and I just do the SEO for them. So
that's great. Do you have like 100-person team or something to manage 60 some sites?
No, not at all. I do outsource a lot of my work at this point, but the first few years, I didn't want to like let go of any of that money I was bringing in. So I did all of it to start. Then it got a little overwhelming when I had so many I was trying to rank so many at one time. So I did start outsourcing. I hired like a virtual assistant. And then there's services that I even talk about in the course that I would recommend using once you do have money coming in or you have your client paying for them. And so I pay for some stuff like that. But then, like John mentioned, he hadn't touched a site in 5 years. Like there's so many of them. And I think I mentioned earlier, I sometimes feel a little guilty because I haven't done any work for them and I'm still getting paid every month. So
we're still bringing money into putting money in their pocket as well by the work we did in the past.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
Erin, what's the most websites before you started feeling like, okay, now I need some help? What's the most websites you felt comfortable with managing by yourself?
Oh, I think I had probably about maybe 30, I think.
Oh, that's a ton. Yeah, I thought you were gonna say
Yeah.
like 10.
But like, I
Yeah,
mean, some of
30.
them, some of them I didn't even have to do anything with because the
Which is interesting is if you estimate $600 revenue per website, if she's doing 30 of them, that's 600 times 30. That's $1,800 a month out of 30 websites.
competition was so scarce.
Yeah.
All I did was put the website out there. I had done the research and optimized that site the way that we teach in this course.
Mhm.
It was
And
ranking.
I mean, it popped up number one. In the in the course, there's one of the modules we talk about just your Google business listing, because that's a whole other piece of SEO. You rank in the little map section when you look in the search results.
Mhm.
I haven't done anything to it, and it's showing up number one, the one that I built during the training course. So if you do the research and you pick the right areas to go into and the right like terms to kind of focus on, some of them you don't even have to do any extra work for. They just pop up in the first position. So,
Well, you do not extra work, but you have to do the work.
well, yeah, you have to do
Yeah,
the research and analyzing the competitors and
and what you put on the site itself is important to, I don't want to get too nerdy on it or go into too many details, but we look at a lot of websites, because we're in this realm. Within 5 seconds, Aaron and I can tell you why they're not ranking. 5 to 20 seconds, we can immediately see what's going on, or why they're not getting any phone calls, or why they're not getting any forms sent in. So that type of knowledge is just important to the end user, whether you're the owner of the website or the end user of the business you're trying to help.
All right. And I want you to remember, you guys, that they're not in the same place. I think, Miss Erin, you said you're in Colorado, and John, you're in Alabama, right?
Right.
yes.
Yep. So
Yeah,
you guys
absolutely.
can do this. You don't in any state, really, probably in any country too. Like, I don't think
Sure.
you got to be in the United States to do this, but you can do this anywhere. John, how many websites do you currently manage, and what's the most you felt like you can manage by yourself before you needed some help?
Yeah, I had a partner way back when I was first starting this on it, and we kind of went our separate ways. So we were up to around 25 at that point. He ended up getting 7 of those sites, and I got 18. So that's the number I'm at. And the reason, I have other responsibilities as well, as far as the palette, my students, and as far as that goes. So I wanted to have this as another revenue stream that I could do the work and be done with it. You know what I mean?
This is
And that's what I was looking for when I was describing trying to fill in my golf hours, that I wouldn't be able to play golf anymore. I wanted to find something where what can I do where I can do the work and have ongoing revenue stream coming in for the end of my day.
I still don't understand why he lets his wife dictate whether he should play golf or not. That doesn't make any sense to me. You have to have a context there. Are you affecting your health? Is she looking out for you in some way or the other? But just telling you not to play golf seems just completely insane to me. Bro, don't let people control you like that. But on the point that he was trying to make, as far as creating these assets that generate income over time for him by doing the work up front, that stuff is really, really exciting to me, and I'm willing to look into it. Obviously, they have a course that you have to purchase. They've created a value up front, and if you find this type of content important or useful, then you can go purchase their course and listen to it and apply it and take action. You might be able to create yourself passive income that will sustain your lifestyle for an extended period of time. I do, however, want to point out that when doing this, that it's necessary to practice ethically. Like, they call it a white hat SEO practice. It aligns with the search engine guidelines. It'll reduce the risk of your business getting shut down, risk of penalties, and it creates a sustainable income for you. The other thing that he did, which notice that he pointed out that he came from John, I'm referring to John, he came from pallet business. So he has a real world business, and this is something on the side, which also feeds into his pallet business, because now he can generate more leads for his pallet business because he knows how to, generate lead through SEO. So you want to instead of just creating websites to rank and monetize, I encourage you that you build real businesses that provide genuine value to customers. This approach is more sustainable and ethical in the long run. Guys, I don't know if you found this content valuable. I certainly did. You can go onto JT Hustle's channel, subscribe to his channel, and watch more of these types of videos. He brings you real world practical business ideas that you can start today, and within a month or so you're generating revenue enough to over time replace your employment. Subscribe, tune in. Thanks for watching.